This building is the Greendell Tower, which used to be a signaling tower on the Lackawanna Railroad. So right now I'm standing on what would have been the railroad bed. And you can see there's remnants of railroad ties and railroad ballast. This tower looks like it was some type of signaling tower or control tower, probably associated with the Greendell Station, which is just down that way, less than half a mile. In fact, probably closer to a quarter of a mile. And the tower itself is a two-story concrete structure, which was obviously abandoned when the rest of this track was abandoned. And it's now has some graffiti on it, but not too much. And it's covered in some growth, but it's actually in surprisingly good shape considering how long it's been abandoned. And the windows are missing, but other than that, the structure itself looks like it's still sound and stable. This is the entrance to the Greendell Tower, and it's actually a nice arched doorway with a cover to it, so it looks like someone put a lot of effort into designing the aesthetics of this building, even though it's not something that would have been seen this close by the public, just by the workers. And the tower itself is a stone tower or concrete tower. And I mentioned the Greendell Station. The Greendell Station is actually right over there, so it's that building over there. And it's the station that would have been used initially to serve passengers from Greendell, but they found that the passenger service was not profitable for this town, so they later switched over to just using this station and this stop for freight traffic and no passenger service. Another thing I noticed is this line of concrete bases with metal sticking out of them. Kind of wonder what they were at one point. But the tower itself looks like it's open, but there's no path to the actual top of it. So there's arched windows here, and then there's this metal column in the center, and then there's more arched windows, and there is a lot of graffiti and writing on the wall. A lot of profanity, as you'd expect, but unfortunately looks like they removed the ladder, which would have gone up to the top. And the top deck itself is rather decaying. There's decayed wood up there, but the concrete and the steel beams look like they're all in pretty good shape. And this here looks like it would have been a base possibly to a ladder, but I don't know where the ladder would have gone. Obviously that hole down there could have been where stairs or a ladder went to get access to the top. And there's this steel support beam going to the center as well. So it's an interesting building, but it's kind of disappointing that you can't get to the top to see the view from there. Just looking at the graffiti, there's some of the dirtiest graffiti that I've ever seen. Pretty much all sorts of sodomy and sexual acts with people's relatives. Somebody over here really likes their mother. And yeah. Yep, somebody likes their mother. the access to the top again. It's actually interesting, the wooden panels. It again looks like they put a lot of effort into the design of this place, which is impressive, especially considering that only the people working in the tower would have seen the woodwork up there. And the building being made of concrete looks like it's in very good shape, even though it's been abandoned for what would have been, I believe this cutoff was abandoned in the 70s, so would have been around 50 years worth of being just neglected and not kept up. The steel beams are rusted, but they're still look like they're structurally sound as well. I wonder if when they reopen this cutoff, they're gonna use this building for anything. I doubt it. I doubt they'd use it as a control tower, because now everything's done electronically and you can have someone in a different state control the train, so you don't need these on-type control towers. And you don't need these highly placed lookouts, because they can just have cameras that watch the track everywhere.